Oh, this time I did remember. Good evening. I'm so glad to be with you again. We'll be sparking hope tonight. And to start our practice, so the basic movement of our practice is this. So we will do a little movement. We've been doing this. We'd start with a little bit of reflection, which we've already done, and we'll do a little bit more movement in order to help us settle into some time of reflection, more reflection and more meditation. And if you haven't already, if you want to light an Advent wreath or a candle or three, today is 3 candles, grab those if you haven't already. And we'll be doing a little bit of movement to start. It can all be done in your chair, although the first practice can also be done standing, and I'll just give you the option of which one to do. Because of the cameras and such, I have to stay in my seat and do it. But I think some of you have done this particular practice. Like I said, we're exploring the intertwining tonight of hope and joy. And I don't have anything particularly revelatory to say about that. I just feel like those things intertwine a lot. Not exactly sure how. So I would invite you to either make a comfortable seat or you can stand for this first part. And it's a practice called breath of joy, which I love. It's a practice I like a lot. I think a few of you have done this with me before. And it's a 3-part inhale and then a big opened mouthed exhale with some movement with that. So I'll show you a couple of times first. So you inhale, raise your hands about halfway or arms up about halfway. Inhale again, you widen them out, kind of like you're conducting a choir or an orchestra, and then inhale them all the way up. And then exhale, bring your hands down all the way, and you would fold. I'm not going to fold all the way for you. Some of you are demoing it. I love it. You're standing. So again, 3 parts inhale and 1 big exhale with you do an open mouth size. So we're going to inhale. So do it once with me. We'll do it slowly. Inhale, inhale, arms out, inhale up, exhale all the way out, folding over as much as you can. Excellent. And then inhale, 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 inhale. You can inhale, 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 make it a little faster. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Do it 2 more times. Inhale, 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 inhale. 1 big and then pause and feel. You can do that standing or sitting, arms by your side. Taking some time to pause and feel. What does this practice, this practice of breath of joy, what does that ignite in you? What does that shift or change in you? I'd invite you to sit back down if you weren't already, and we're going to be doing some mountain breath. And I think we may have done it the previous 2 weeks. I'm a big fan of it. So it's just a great warming up kind of breath practice. So what you do is you inhale your arms up above your head, you interlace your fingers, and you point your the index finger up toward the ceiling if that's comfortable for you. If not, arms can stay about shoulder distance apart. Inhaling all the way up and open, really letting your lungs expand fully, fullness of the breath. And then whenever that's full, exhale, slowly swimming your arms down by the side, pressing the palms of your hand into the tops of your thighs, fully exhaling, really using the internal core muscles and your diaphragm to press the air out. And when that's complete, getting all that stale air out, rest your hands on your legs, taking 2 rounds of natural breath. And then when you're ready, no rush, inhaling the arms up above the head, interlacing fingers, really feeling the fullness of your breath as your shoulder girdle moves off the lungs and the rib cage. And when that fullness of the breath is complete, exhaling, swimming the arms down by your side, pressing the hands into the tops of the thighs. Again, using the diaphragm and those internal core muscles to push out air. Really feeling maybe a little bit of a rounding of the spine there. And then releasing whenever you're ready. Hands can rest on the thighs. 2 rounds of natural breath. And then again, when you're ready, inhaling the arms up, interlacing. Maybe taking a sip of air at the top of the breath. Then exhaling, swimming the arms down. Really pressing the air out. You might do an open mouth sigh. And then resting the hands on your legs. 2 rounds of natural breath. Pausing to feel, to tune in to how this practice changes you. One more time, inhaling the arms up, interlacing, full breath, so even sipping in the breath like as if through a straw. Feeling the rib cage and the belly expand with the breath, and then exhaling, gently swimming the arms down, pressing the palms into the legs. Maybe another one of those open mouth sighs. Pressing the stale air out. Hands rest, 2 rounds of natural breath. Pausing to feel, joining in, allowing this breath to connect us, even though we are geographically dispersed. Allowing this, our tuned in breath practices to connect us. Then as you're ready, opening your eyes again if you haven't already. Making one gentle fist with, it doesn't matter which side you start with, just making a real gentle fist and then using the backs of your fingers, just gently stroking your face with your hand. Just one side for now, kind of gently touching as if you're gently touching like you would a baby, maybe your pets. We were talking about our pets bringing us hope. Kind of gently maybe along the chin and the lips. Along the forehead and temples, jawline, cheekbone. Whenever that feels complete, resting your hand down by your side. Pausing to feel the differences in the 2 sides of the face. One might be a little bit more relaxed than the other now. Maybe more open, maybe a tingly or a warm sensation. And same thing, second side. So again, making a gentle fist and then gently rubbing the outside of the fingers along the face, underneath the eye, maybe even on the eyelid and eyebrow, forehead. On the chin. Really allowing yourself to tune in and to feel what's happening here in the body. Doing just a couple more simple movements and then allowing that to subside. Resting your hands maybe in your lap, and again, pausing to feel both sides of your face. What differences do you notice in the face now than maybe when we started? And those simple bits of movement, I want to welcome, there's a few folks joining on Instagram. I particularly see Damien and a few others. I can't read all of them because it's a little far away. I apologize for my eyes that can't quite see anybody print that well anymore, but welcome. So if I'm not naming you by name, it's not because I don't want to, it's probably because I can't read. I can't read it, but I'm glad that you're here. The scripture I've chosen for our practice tonight is from Philippians 4:4-7. And this one felt the most overtly joyful of the passages of this week, which if some of you I know have looked at them already, so you probably know that. This is the most overtly joyful, which is rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to everyone. The Lord is near. Do not worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. What a perfect little passage for tonight. Reminding us of the interplay, like some of these, the passage actually takes a pass. I think it goes through a lot of the themes, the emotions that we've been exploring, the sensations we've been exploring. Thanksgiving, that idea of hearts, that there's this peace that is just well beyond anything that we can cognitively understand. It's something that's in our body mind if we allow it. So I'm delighted. So if you want to light your candles, if you have those, if you want to do that. The pink candle traditionally is for the third week. A reminder of joy in the midst of this time when we're being more introspective, turning inward, and maybe even experiencing some unpleasant. This might be even a time of unpleasantness, and we know we're approaching very soon, in just a few days, in the northern hemisphere, the darkest day, right, of the year, the one with the least amount of daylight. And so these candles are a great reminder, and all of the artificial light. There was a time when there wasn't all this artificial light. Can you imagine how dark it would have been in these times if we didn't have all this artificial light? But these candles are a reminder of that spark of hope that might yet guide us, that can guide us and will guide us, maybe even guides us more strongly because of all of the darkness that surrounds it. Darkness doesn't have to be our enemy, but in fact is our friend in all of this. A place of warmth, sort of the darkness of the womb, not the darkness of the tomb. That's a quote from Valerie Carr. It's not one I made up, but it's a beautiful one. This idea that we're in the darkness of being nurtured and of being growth, like seeds in soil. So that's our time. So I'm going to invite you to make a comfortable seat, or if it's more comfortable for you, feel free to lie down. So you can lie down on the couch. A reclining chair is really nice if you have one of those handy. I see at least someone does have one. I love it, Jonathan. Or making a comfortable seat. If you're lying down, you might want to put some pillows underneath your knees. That's always a nice handy thing. And then really supporting your limbs in any way that makes you absolutely the most comfortable. And I'll let you settle into a good meditative posture. You can also feel free to stay seated, which is great too. I would suggest a long, tall spine, the top of the head going toward the ceiling. Hands can be resting in your lap or on a table in front of you, whatever is more comfortable. I'd invite you to ground your feet if you're seated, or if you're seated cross-legged. You'll be grounded, of course, with the bottoms of your legs and your hips. Taking this first moment to settle in and really beginning to feel into the sensations of the body. You may begin to notice, the touch of air on the skin, whatever the temperature is like in your room. You may begin to notice the pressure of the clothing against the skin. If your eyes have closed, you may be noticing the dance of light behind the eyelids. There may be residual taste in the mouth from dinner or a drink that you just took. You may notice the points of contact between your body and the supports beneath you. Feeling yourself settling, sinking into those supports. Opening yourself, readying yourself for hope, for joy. And begin to notice the breath in the body. Notice first maybe the breath in the nostrils. It'll feel cooler on the way in, and then warmer as you exhale on the way out. Notice where and how and what space the breath takes up in the body. You may notice the movement of the breath, the inhales and exhales moving the rib cage, the diaphragm, the belly, the chest, the shoulder blades, the back. You may notice the torso pressing against the supports beneath it if you're lying down. Feel free to stay with your breath and even returning to the breath at any point in this practice. You may also begin to feel other sensations of the body. After our practice, our physical practice, the physical warming, where are sensations now landing in the body? Maybe as you recall our breath of hope, or breath of joy, it could be breath of hope too. Breath of hope, breath of joy practice. Where did sensation land for you in that? In our mountain breath, where did sensation land? Recall maybe the feeling of the sensation of the face. Or maybe there's a sensation in the body that is emerging right now that is interesting to you, and feel free to stay with it. So again, staying with any sensation that might be interesting to you, or if you'd like to follow the sound of my voice, feeling into particular body parts as I name them with the sound of my voice. Feeling into the head and the face, both eyes, both ears, nose, lips, mouth, gums, and jaw. Moving into the neck, both the front and the back of the neck. Shoulder blades, collarbones, the joint of the shoulder. Moving into the arms and elbows, forearms and wrists, hands and fingers. Traveling into the chest and the back, middle belly and mid back, side ribs, the waistline, lower belly and lower back. Sensation of the entire upper body all at once. Feeling into the upper legs, hips, and pelvis. Knee joints, lower legs, ankles, the feet, both the tops and the soles of the feet. Balls of the feet and the toes. Sensation of the entire lower body all at once. And then returning to your body, feeling into those sensations of joy that may have emerged tonight. Or perhaps it's useful to think, to recall a time that brought you great joy. Or maybe to a person that brings you great joy, or your beloved pet, as we've named here tonight, that brings you great joy. When you recall that situation that that person, that place, that experience that brought you joy. How does that feel in the body? Maybe it lands in a particular spot, or maybe it radiates out. Maybe it's a type of sensation throughout the entire body. And then perhaps feeling into hope. Where has hope landed for you in the body? Where does that reside? What is that sensation like? And maybe to help you, you might recall a situation or a person or something that gives you hope. Where does that land for you in the body? And again, that may land a particular place in the body, but it also may be a particular just overall sensation of the body. We have sometimes named this hope as a feeling of buoyancy and lightness, sort of energizing or energetic feeling, but it could feel like a lot of things to you. Noticing how that experience forms for you tonight in this very moment. And then maybe those feelings of hope and joy, holding both of those at the same time. Feeling both sensations in the body. Perhaps next moving between the two, moving between sensations of hope and joy. At your own pace, at your own rhythm, there's absolutely no rush. Feeling them both, holding them both at the same time. And perhaps in this holding of them both, you might notice ways in which they intertwine. Maybe there's similarities between the sensations of the two, or maybe simply they weave together into a beautiful and complex tapestry. Maybe one we don't even consciously understand entirely, and that's okay. Letting our bodies be the one that understands for us. Letting our body and our breath and sensation take the lead. And as you feel into this hope and this joy, perhaps allowing the breath to breathe them, even as the body breathes you. This breath continuing to ignite joy and hope in you, holding it for days when hope and joy are more difficult to hold. Embedding them in the body as something that you can recall, resume at any time. And then when you're feeling ready, perhaps releasing this practice, allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm if it hasn't already. No rush. Remembering this moment to carry with you into the rest of your week. Maybe beginning to move fingers and toes. Maybe turning the head side to side, or again, maybe stretching your arms up overhead in a kind of good morning stretch. And then there's truly no rush, but grabbing your journal or pen or paper again. And if there's anything from that practice that has emerged for you, maybe taking a moment to jot that down. Like, where does hope and joy intertwine for you?